Sydney Kelly, and I am a professional makeup artist and hairstylist. Normally, I train people on how they should do makeup or hair, and today I am going to demonstrate how to get the perfect complexion no matter what your skin tone is. So, I'm going to start off by using just a couple of products. I'm only using 3 brushes today. The first thing, as you can see, I've already done my brows because, of course, no look is complete without perfect brows. So my brows have already been filled in, and I've already done my eyes. I'm a makeup artist that tends to do eyes first, so that way when you finish off with the complexion, everything can be cleaned up under your eyes, and then you just end up with a flawless finish. That way, if there's any drop down from your shadow or anything, that can be completely wiped off and cleaned up before you get your final makeup. So, my face has already been prepped. I already have on moisturizer, and again, my eyes have already been done. So I'm going to start off by doing my concealer. And I do a concealer, and I'm just going to take a flat brush, and I'm just going to pat that on an angle all the way up. And I'm actually going to come up around and meet my brow. This is going to actually sculpt the face at the same time. Then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, patting under, coming up on an angle, kind of to meet that brow, and come all the way up to kind of meet that eyebrow there. And you can go as close to the under eye as possible. But again, you are going to get a chance to get under there. So as you can see, I'm using a full coverage concealer, a little bit lighter than my complexion, because that's how I'm going to get that beautiful highlight that you see on the different celebrities. So now that I've done my concealer, I'm going to actually take a powder using a brush just like the concealer brush, and I am going to literally pat that on to set it. And again, going as close to that under eye as possible. Just going to pat that on as close to the under eye as possible to set it. This is just a powder. Coming up again, because this is sculpting the face as well. Now, after you've done that, you're going to go ahead and you are going to, what I like to do is use a bronzing cream, and I'm going to take that, or some people call it a highlight, but I'm going to go ahead and add my highlight using just my finger. I'm going to go ahead and add that highlight right under where I already had that concealer. Again, this is giving you that high sculpted cheekbone that we all desire. And then I'm going to do the very same thing on the other side, meeting that concealer all the way up, all the way up. I use my fingers a lot because it helps you actually blend really, really nicely. We're looking for that highlighted cheek, sculpted cheek. So now that I've completed my highlight, I'm actually going to take a concealer, and if there are any blemishes that you have on your skin, you'll just go ahead and tap those out. I have a few blemishes. I'm not perfect either. And then you can just slightly blend those out. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to take an angle brush and I'm going to give myself just a little more of a defined cheekbone by taking a brown. I use like a bronzing kind of brown. And you want to make a pucker face just like that so that you can actually see where the height of that cheekbone is going to go. So, as you guys can see, it's bringing in the definition right there. And you want to build up on this. You know, you don't want to go in and make it so strong that when you turn to the side, you see just this. Because I see a lot of people when they try to sculpt that cheekbone out and you can actually see where it was done. So use a bronzer or a brown or a color that's going to allow you to build upon that sculpt. And there it is to the side, as you can see. Carving out that cheekbone to give you that definition that you're looking for. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Like I said, building up on it so that you don't see such a heavy line. And as you can see, there it is. And so the face is coming together. Now, I'm going to take my foundation, and I'm actually using MAC's Mineralized Satin Finish with SPF because, of course, we always want to use SPF. And I'm just going to do a couple of pumps right here on my hand. And you don't have to use a whole lot of foundation. If you've covered up your blemishes the way that you need it to, using that flat brush or using your fingers to blend it out, then you definitely don't need a whole lot of product. You should be able to just get away with a pump or two when you're rounding out this when you're rounding out the complexion. So I'm gonna start. I always start with my forehead because I like to go around those brows and make sure that they're perfect. Blending up. And I'm actually using a MAC brush, the 107. It's one of my favorites. And I'm just going to, in a circle, just kind of bring it on home. And yes, I'm going in there kind of to blend everything together so you don't see any lines. And going in a circular motion is how you get that airbrush finish. It really, really helps blend, help you complete that look. Circle, small circular motion over the entire face. There. Now you have you're highlighted, you're sculpted, and now you have your full completed look. You can actually go in there if you got a little bit. You want to blend out where you connected your concealer with your eyebrow so that you can make sure that, you don't have any heavy lines and no one can see where you stopped and started. I'm very, very big on blending. Blending is a huge, huge, huge thing. A lot of times you'll see women with makeup, and again, like I said, when you're sculpting out that cheek with a bronzer or with a brown tone, you definitely, definitely want to make sure that you blend. So using those small circular motions and going around to wherever you stopped and started with the line is really going to help you with that blend out. So now I'm going to complete this look, complete my cheeks actually, using a wedge brush as well. I'm just going to take it and make my cheeks. And you know how we always talk about the apples of the cheek? Again, there are no rules when it comes to makeup, but the apple of the cheek is the part that you really want to highlight. So I'm going to just smile and an upward motion, get the apples of that cheek. And remember, you already highlighted, so that's there. There you go. So now you have the apples of your cheeks. As you can see, my concealer underneath is nice and flawless. My cheeks, my little apples are rosy, and you can actually see where that sculpting came in on the sides. And last but not least, we want to complete our look. I apologize. We want to complete our look with just a little lip liner using a color. Sometimes I like to go a little bit higher on my lip liner. Another thing, another little tip that you can do with lip liner is to kind of bring it up. Feather it down a little on the lip. Not only does it help with keeping your lipstick or lip gloss on over the course of the day, but it also gives you a more blended look. You never want to have just a hard line of lip liner all the way around. So I'm going to end it here with just a little gloss. I have a heavily smoked eye. And so because I have a heavily smoked eye, again, there are no rules in makeup, but more than likely when you have a heavy, smoldered, smoky eye with lashes and underliner, you kind of want to go with a nude lip. Now, of course, if you're going for a sexy, vampy look, you can also pop in a little bit of red. There we go. And last but not least, if it's a summer day and you really, really, really want to look refreshed and well lit from the inside out, everyone always asks, how do you get that look? How do you get that glow? You can take a little bit more of whatever you use for your highlight and just do a little bit more on top of your blush. As you can see, I'm not using very much, using my finger. And again, patting it in to make sure that it's well blended. And there you go. You have a perfect complexion. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Sydney Kelly. I showed you today how you can have the perfect complexion no matter what your skin tone is. I look forward to teaching you more tips and tricks. You can follow me on Sydney Kelly. You can follow me on Twitter at Sydney Kelly, and you can also follow me on Facebook, forrealbeauty.com. Thank you so much. I look forward to teaching you more things. You have an awesome day. Smooches!